This one is basically just a story poem. So when I was in primary school, so I'm sure everybody knows this, but in the north of Ireland, when I was a kid, which is in the 80s, all of the primary schools were denominationally segregated, so there were Protestant ones and Catholic ones, and there was no such thing as a kind of interdenominational primary school, grammar and secondary schools, yeah, but not when you were wee. Somebody ended up in mine who was in the wrong one, and somebody found out, as kids do, and made her life shit on the back of it, and so this is just about that. It's called Primary 6. In Primary 6, the new boy, with whom I was obscurely in love, a white South African with beautiful flaxen hair and enviable knowledge, announced there was a Catholic in our class. The teacher had stepped out for something, and he took the chance to take the floor. "There's a Catholic in here." He pointed at me. "It's you, isn't it?" I didn't know what a Catholic was. I said I didn't think so. He turned then on someone else, a girl called Jeanette. "What about you? It's you, isn't it? Isn't it?" Jeanette was silent, slumped in her chair. Simon scanned the room, mean and victorious. When the teacher returned, Simon was the perfect pupil, and the class proceeded as normal, reading 360, Dick and Dora. At lunchtime, Jeanette sat on her own. I was no longer in love with Simon. Jeanette, though, was somebody. Jeanette was a Catholic. I secretly loved her, though we never spoke. This one is, I think this one and the one that's by my friend that I'm going to read are kind of about language patterns in Northern Ireland, I suppose. Mine being, well, both of them being mischievous, but mine probably being a bit lighter than his. So I hadn't really noticed. I went home on the ferry, myself and Peter, my partner, went home on the ferry to Northern Ireland a few months back, and somebody said something on the ferry that just made me realise that language is used differently at home to the way that it is here. So people tend to personify things, like inanimate things, a lot at home. Well, I won't say what the guy says because it's in the first line of the poem, but it just spurred off a sort of recollection of the way that people put personality onto things that don't have any personality at home and maybe don't so much here. It's called personification. On the ferry to Larne, someone shouts, "That cunt of a curtain!" And you're back where inanimate objects have malicious intent, where soft furnishings are mischievous, looking for trouble, and white goods present a staunch, rebellious mien when, on levering them into the perfect slot, your da encounters problems. In the soft pile carpet is the spirit of an elf who wants to be out in the woods, changing workmen to donkey kings. The stereo, if it could, would seize, or sign itself away for scrap. As for the old cloth deck chairs, summer nights to the tune of the midge, they rustle their foliage, flex their ancient wooden jaws like traps. My father used to have a thing where he would, it once happened in reality, where he got kind of enclosed in a deck chair, and then it became a sort of thing that he did for hilarity.